out to you?
You know, once again, guys being in the right spot, not being able to make the play right now. Lack of depth. You know, obviously we were playing decent early, and then we kind of got worn down as the subs came in, as we've occurred some injuries and had some attrition on the team. We're lacking a little depth right now, so we need to find some guys that can step up and do that. That's not an excuse. We need to coach them better and get some guys ready.
Coach Frost mentioned inside linebacker is one of those spots that for depth a little bit. I guess what's that picture look like going into this weekend? How do you feel about those next guys after the starters?
Well, I mean, the bad news and the good news is, the bad news is we're not getting guys back. The good news is the guys that are going to take their place have gotten a lot of reps this week, where last week they probably didn't get as many. I think we've done a better job of getting all 4 guys ready to play both spots, as opposed to, you know, you got one guy playing Mike, one guy playing Will, so if the Will goes down, only the next Will can go in. I think all 4 guys are more ready now to play both spots, so that'll help us out a little bit.
So what guys specifically, backup guys, got to be ready this week?
Well, I mean, you're talking about inside linebacker. Obviously, the backups are Colin Miller and Jake Weinmaster, and I think last week, you know, Colin trained more at 1, and then, you know, that guy gets hurt, he goes in, but if the other guy gets hurt, he's not ready to go in. It's not fair to that guy. So we've had to cross-train them all a little bit this week.
What is your concern as the coach about the physical toll that, I mean, the Wisconsin video showed what it showed. They're pretty physical.
Yeah.
Do you have concerns in that area?
I don't have concerns for our team going forward. I have concerns that we have a long ways to go. Football-wise, we have a long ways to go, strength and conditioning-wise, if we're going to catch up and be able to beat teams like Wisconsin and Michigan. And I'm sure, you know, I haven't seen the film on anybody that we play, you know, looking in the future, but teams like that, they're going to be physical and run the ball. We've got a long ways to go in all those aspects.
I think you guys only have 4 takeaways this year. Obviously, you want takeaways. What's not happened this year so far?
You know, right now, you know, we're good enough, and I told the guys that we're okay with knocking balls down. You know, I felt like Antonio Reed had a shot to make another pick. I felt like Cam Taylor could have made a pick when he made a good break on a ball, and we're celebrating after a knockdown pass. Passes are supposed to get knocked down. They're supposed to get intercepted. We've got to be, you know, disappointed with the knockdown and mad that we didn't get the pick. We've got to do a better job of stripping the ball. We've got to do a better job when we get to the quarterback and getting the ball out. And then, you know, lack of speed and or getting more people to the ball is really what causes turnovers, and we need to fix that.
Is that a schematic thing that you need to work on? Is that a discipline thing? Like, how do you switch that?
I think probably both. You know, probably feeling more comfortable with what we're doing every week. And you know, the thing about playing in Wisconsin is, you know, we play against the spread every day in practice. We don't have a lot of those players on scout teams, so we got to figure out a way. I've got to figure out a way to get us more familiar with that scheme going forward, and playing in those tight boxes and having those guys fit those tight windows and making plays on the ball.
Off subject, JD, who you see in JD Spielman, who you see in practice every day. I mean, you could probably relate to why he is causing problems for defenses. What is it about JD?
Well, first, I just think JD's a really good football player. I think he's pretty savvy. You know, there's some guys that are just burners. And to me, I would rather cover a burner than a guy like JD that's got all that wiggle, can sit it down in his zone, can feel space around him. He's really hard to cover, and I think what Coach Frost does offensively really lends itself to JD's game. And then once he catches the ball, I think he's got a good feel for knifing upfield and knowing where to go to beat blocks and or set up blocks and just run away from defenders.
How much of a different look will Northwestern be than Wisconsin?
Probably couldn't be much more different, right? Wisconsin's going to line up in big people and pound it and throw it 10 times a game, and Northwestern, they're going to throw it a lot more and use the run as, you know, as the sprinkling, as the changeup. Especially, I thought the Larkin kid was a really good running back, and after his injury, you know, they've had to kind of do running backs by committee, and I think they've done a good job with their scheme. But it's just kind of the opposite. I don't think either one's better or worse. It's just a different scheme.
I think Cam Taylor played quite a bit towards the end of that Wisconsin game. How have you seen him grow with that position, and you see him taking on a bigger role?
Yeah, I think Cam Taylor's a really good football player. you know, right now I think we have good corners. And to put a young kid out there in a situation where he might take it on the head a few times is probably not ideal. We need to keep building and building and building with him, and by the end of the year getting more and more reps, and he's taking a ton of reps on special teams, and he needs to take more at corner and nickel right now.